Welcome to the Her Empowered Divorce podcast. I'm your host, Beverly Price. With my 25 years of divorce and empowerment coaching experience, I know that divorce is a difficult and emotional journey. I also know from personal experience that it can be a time of growth and transformation. Through this podcast, you'll gain valuable insights on all aspects of divorce, from the logistical and financial to the emotional and legal. My goal is to empower you to confidently move forward in your divorce journey, avoid common mistakes, and ultimately create a happy and fulfilling life. With expert guests, practical advice, actionable tips, and inspiring conversations, we'll explore how to master your divorce and emerge stronger on the other side. You don't have to face this alone. Let's start this journey together and create a better future for you. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, beautiful. Greetings and welcome to the Her Empowered Divorce podcast. I'm Beverly Price, divorce and empowerment coach, and in this episode, I'll bring you fabulous women like my guest Scarlett today to share with you their stories and their advice to help you on your own divorce journey. Whether you are soon to be separated, contemplating divorce, divorcing, or divorced woman, this podcast was created just for you. My guest today is Scarlett Bease, personal stylist and image consultant. And she's going to talk with me today about how image can affect your self-confidence. She's going to show us that the best time for you to give yourself a boost in your self-confidence is by changing the clothes you choose to wear and buy. She wants you to discover how the way you see yourself is life-changing when you learn what you wear transforms you and how you see and value yourself. So much of the time, I find that women's empowerment and confidence on the outside affects how they feel on the inside. And so what Scarlett brings to our divorce story is how we can help work on our empowerment on the outside so that it can come together with the inside work you do. Hi, Scarlett. Thanks so much for being my guest today. It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here and share some helpful tips.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Scarlett.
So what I do is I'm known as an image consultant, personal stylist. I've been called a clothes whisperer. But what I do is I help women have the ability to open up their closet and easily and happily pick out something to wear instead of what usually happens, which is, now what? Or I'll just wear that outfit that I wore the last 3 days for the last 3 years. So I just I help women always know what to wear.
That is wonderful. I myself am overweight. And so one of the things I've experienced is I hate to look in the mirror. I hate to have my picture taken because I don't want to see what I really look like. How can you help someone like me get over that and get past lacking confidence in what I look like? Like so many divorced women do.
Yeah. And I'll say it's a very common feeling or condition that women of all ages have, younger people, middle-aged, more mature, and then women who are single going through divorce, because we have an idea of what we should look like. And we think that the way we were is the ideal way. But in fact, there's an ideal way right now. So It really doesn't matter about what size somebody wears. If you're wearing the clothes that are right for you and you're a size 4 or you're a size 24, it's great. If you're wearing the clothes that are wrong for you, just being smaller will not make them look good. It will not necessarily make you feel great. So it's really never about the size. And the way that I see women change when they have what you were discussing, the feelings that you're discussing, is when you can see how great you can look in the clothes you don't have, like new clothes, things that you wouldn't have picked out on your own. When you see that, then there's a lightness that happens. Then something happens where women realizes it was never about the size or the label or the weight. It was simply, as I always say, it's never about you. It's the clothes that you're wearing are wrong, but it's not that something is wrong with you.
I actually saw a stylist about a year ago, and one of the things she encouraged me to do was step out of wearing very blah clothes and into brighter colors. And that was a whole new world for me, and I was kind of scared of it. Can you tell me a little bit about kind of the stepping out process and how a woman can move past that fear?
Well, it's about experimentation. So when I work with somebody, I show her the best colors for her to wear and the ones to avoid. And it's actually, once you become aware of that, even without working with someone like myself, you start to see a difference. So the idea, the problem is that women tend to have a lot of the same in their closets. And that's because it's habitual, it's comfortable, it's all you know. So you kind of stick to the same thing. And that becomes that rut that makes women have difficulty choosing what to wear or liking how they look in the mirror. So it's really about, experimenting and looking at trying on clothes in a way that's unusual for women, which is have fun, have a sense of humor, have some playfulness in it, as opposed to, I got to get something for this event now. And then that becomes stressful, and that usually goes very badly.
Gotcha. So this podcast is all about the divorced or divorcing woman. What is a common personal image issue for women who've already gone through the divorce process?
Mm-hmm. When a woman goes through divorce, there's a lot of what's wrong with me that can happen, right?
Exactly.
So that what's wrong with me gets really amplified when you put something on and it doesn't fit, or you don't look good in it, or your friend has it on and she looks good in it. Why don't you look good in it, And there's a lot of not even wanting to look at yourself in the mirror. I had a client once who didn't even know she had a mirror in her closet. That's how much she didn't want to look at herself.
Wow.
Very dramatic, but it was a sad truth. So the thing about when you go through divorce is, so you've been focusing on somebody else and oftentimes children too. And then all of a sudden you're on your own and now you're feeling older, bigger, frumpy, and maybe not desired, which is a big thing, So the thing is that you are just as valuable now as you were when you were married 20 years ago, or, 2 sizes smaller or more, even smaller. And so the thing is to start treating yourself with kindness and to treat yourself, period. Women as a whole tend to forget themselves. And then they get a little bit older, and sometimes their size changes in the way they don't want it to change. And then it's just a cycle that goes on. And then you end up wasting not days, weeks, years, but sometimes decades. So the trick
and also money, right? If they're buying clothes that aren't,
Oh, Mike, when I work mostly virtually, but, when I used to be in women's closets for real, there were so many price tags still on the clothes. There were so many things that never were worn or worn once and then never worn again because they weren't right. A woman needs to know what's right for her and her specifically in order to have success with shopping and being able to put an outfit together like this. When a woman buys things because it's in, or because somebody else is wearing it, or because they think that's what they're supposed to wear, but it doesn't match their personality, that becomes where you spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and you tend to damage your self-esteem even more, which is
exactly
opposite of what I want to do and what you want to do for women.
Yeah, I actually work with clients who have that low self-esteem to work through that to get to the place where they have more self-love than self-doubt. Right. So I'm kind of working on the inside and you're kind of working on the outside to bring it together.
Yep.
One of the things I noticed in particular in my mother was, and I think this goes back to something you said. I think women spend their lives and are taught to invest in their husbands and their children, but not in themselves.
Right.
And so sometimes, for example, I have women come to me and say, well, the divorce coach is a luxury. I don't really need that. But attorney after attorney that I speak with says that a divorce coach is essential to the process. Right. That you can't go in and sit in an attorney's office and just go on and on about your emotions, because the cost of your divorce will go out the window.
Right.
So if I can feel better and then I combine it with the kind of work you're doing, that's fabulous. Now, I noticed in my mother that as she got older, she stopped buying clothes. Or she bought clothes that diminished her. She would frequently wear clothes from 30 years prior that just didn't really do anything for her.
Right.
And, one of the things I wanted to do was go in her closet and pull out all of those clothes. But she continued to gravitate to them. What advice do you have for a woman like that?
Well, first of all, when clothes are, very too big or very dark, like a lot of women like to wear a lot of black, it's making themselves disappear. And
Gotcha.
so, shrink a little bit from life. So I encourage women to wear clothes that fit them, and also are in colors that are flattering to them, but not black all the time. We shouldn't be looking like we're in mourning all the time, or like we're hiding, or like everybody else in the room. For your mother, the trick, so when I work with a client and she is not sure what to wear, so she tends to buy what she has or wear the same things over and over again. So when she can see how incredible she can look in something completely different than what she's been doing for the last few years or decades, that's when the transition happens. So your mother would easily be able to put different things on and try different things if she could see how fabulous she can look in a different look. So she's going for the older clothes because she's comfortable. She thinks she's probably looking like she used to by wearing them. And she's also probably too afraid to try something new on because she's afraid it's not going to fit or she's going to look silly. And so if it's not frugality, then it's just a lot of fear. So the trick is, I've worked with women who are like, I don't want to get rid of anything in my closet. I just want you to help me, make some new outfits. And then when I show them a new outfit and they can see how great they can look in that outfit, then they don't want that stuff they've been holding on to anymore.
Exactly. Yes.
But you have to see you have to see the after to get rid of the before.
Yeah. I like what you said kind of about the black syndrome. Most of my closet before I started working with someone was black. And I thought not only it made me look slimming, but that it was also cost effective because I could put a different color jacket over it. I could wear a scarf. And so I didn't have to buy as much. But what I learned was that the kinds of things that I was buying were like tents. And therefore, they made me look like a tent. And, I dressed to hide, and I ended up looking like a tent. Is that your experience?
Absolutely. A woman, there's two things that happen. Some women wear clothes that are too big because they think it's slimming. And what does it really do? It makes you look bigger, right? It also makes you feel bigger. And then the other bad habit of some women is to wear clothes that are a little bit too tight because they go, I'm going to lose some weight, and it's going to work. So if it's a little bit too tight, it makes you look bigger too.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like Goldilocks. You have to do the just right.
Absolutely. So what would you say is the most common of mistakes that a woman could make when she goes shopping?
So the most common mistake is women tend to buy what they already have. So.
Oh, interesting.
They get I call it they get magnetized. So they get they get attracted to what they know. Bad relationships, bad food, and the wrong clothes for you.
Yeah.
We just get stuck on that. So what a woman will do, and I see that they call it duplicitis. They'll buy something And they put it on, they like it and all that, and they're happy with how it looks. And then when they go home, they realize they had something that was almost identical to it. It's because they knew
Gotcha.
familiar with it. The other thing is that what women tend to do when they shop is they get caught up on the fit and not caught up on how it looks on them and how it makes them feel. So
Like the size number?
well, they're so happy, like sometimes they're just so happy it closes, right? Because of some weight gain, that they focus on that and then they buy it in multiple colors, which is a ridiculous thing. And the prints too. I mean, I've had clients before they work with me who would have a top in 4 colors and 3 prints. One item, 7 ways, can't build a wardrobe. And then when you realize it's not so great, you've wasted money on 7 of the same thing,
Wow.
So the trick is to not buy what you already have. And the other thing is when you buy clothes that are in your best colors, like you were saying before with your layering, all those colors work together. So you can create multiple outfits. You combine the different colors, so it doesn't have to be black and white all the time, But the big shopping mistake is women really tend to buy what they know. And I'll give you an example. If I had a client years ago who needed a whole new wardrobe, switching her careers, from, I think it was physical education to working, as her own business. And she told me that she needed a whole new wardrobe. Hates everything, has to start from scratch. But she said, there is one store that whenever I go to, I can always find something. So she just told me she hates everything, but there's one store she can always find something, and that's because it fit her. But it didn't make her feel good because she just said she wanted to get rid of everything. Right. So one trick is stop going to the same stores you've been going to. If you say you have nothing to wear, if you have a hard time, putting an outfit together, but you have a lot of clothes, you need to stop shopping where you've been shopping.
What do you make any suggestions on where they should shop? I know that sometimes I have a very difficult time finding a place, and I do all my shopping online. So I have difficulty finding places that either have my style, my size, my color scheme. What's your thought on that?
So online, I've been doing online shopping for my clients for about 10 years. The last 5-6 years, it's the best resource because the stores are not necessarily catering to women over 40.
Gotcha.
And the size selection is terrible, but online I can find something for someone in any size that they need, in any color that they need, in any style they need. It takes a lot of searching. It's not easy. But there's more selection online than there is in the stores. I do recommend what stores. Every client is different, so depending upon her needs, what's going on in her personal life, and if she's working, and also budget, and also her size and shape, the proportions of her body, the features of her body. So every store recommendation I make is different for each client.
Gotcha.
But online, if you can get over the fact that you might have to return some things, which is you should, so you don't waste the money, it's the way to go. You try in the privacy of your home, in your own lighting, because the store lighting, sometimes everybody looks great in the store, and then they drive home.
Yeah.
And put it on, like, what happened? So,
I almost think they have different mirrors, too.
different. Who knows? But,
Yeah.
and then, and the other thing about shopping is when you're shopping in a store, and you have a salesperson or some stranger walk by and they tell you that you look great in that, up here you're going, well, if they said it, it must be true.
Exactly, yes.
But it might not be true. And so you can't let anybody else influence you. And I do want to make one note about when a woman tries on clothes, whether it's in a store, from her closet, online shopping, people say the first impression is, the first 20 seconds, whatever. My thought is the first impression that counts is your own. So you look in the mirror, the story that you tell yourself, what you see when you try something on is the only impression that counts. So don't put something on or buy something because your friend or the salesperson or, a mother or a cousin or a sister or whatever told you it looks great on you. You have to look in the mirror and say, this looks great on me. And if you do that, you're not going to buy clothes that you end up not wearing.
So why do you think so many women get stressed when they get dressed?
Because they have no idea what works for them yet. They have no idea what their personal style is. They don't know the right colors, the right necklines, where a shoulder seam should be on them, the length of something on them. Every woman is unique. And this whole one size fits all, one look, one trend fits all doesn't work. And until you know the specifics for you, you will constantly have this issue of like opening up your closet and going, I have nothing to wear, even though we all know there's a lot of stuff in that closet.
Right,
You know?
absolutely.
So you have to learn what's right for you and you alone. And until then, it just becomes more of a frustration kind of a thing and a waste of money.
I've run into people that don't necessarily get dressed up. I live at the beach, so there's a lot of flip-flops and shorts and t-shirts and things like that. Not to criticize anybody for that. But when you talk to them and I say, you know, dressing up makes me feel better, they have responses like, well, I don't want to have to dress for them. And sometimes I almost think that's a cop-out. Now, sometimes if you really absolutely adore what you look like, then go for it. But sometimes I almost think it's a rejection of some kind.
Yeah, it's a cop-out sometimes.
Yeah. And I'm so amazed that women don't take advantage of that way of feeling better.
Right.
You know, they may go to a therapist, they may do all kinds of things, but there is a fairly simple way to feel better.
Yes. A lot of it is fear, well, if I don't try, then I can't fail at this, because it's a lot of body image issues, The thing about, the flip-flop life, I wouldn't mind that life myself, but you can still dress in a way that's comfortable and appropriate for where you live, but it doesn't look like you gave up. That's
it. That's the word.
Yeah. So the I give up look and being comfortable. I have clothes for warm weather that I can just throw on, put on a pair of sandals, and I'm done. Took no more effort than a t-shirt and shorts. No more effort. It's just, do I care? Do I give a damn? Do I want to give up on myself? I don't. And my clients don't. And a lot of women don't. And there isn't a single woman out there that doesn't like getting a compliment.
Yes.
No one's ever going to, go, well, screw you because you said I look good today. It's not going to.
But one of the things I think women and divorced women do is when they get a compliment, they come back and put themselves down.
Yes.
Like, you look lovely. Oh, I got this from Kmart. Or, something to that effect. They can't fully embrace and accept a compliment.
Yeah. I have a client who wrote a book and her whole chapter is on just that. Just take the compliment. Just quiet. Just say thank you. The only thing you ever have to say when you get a compliment is thank you. It's very hard not to say, oh, I got it for a deal or this old thing or, you think so? Thank you, But it all goes back to, again, looking in the mirror and liking what you see. And no matter your age, your height, your size, you can love how you. I have a client who's a size 24, and she's dressed better than most women who are a size 8, unless they know the clothes that are right for them. But again, you could have a great sundress on and a pair of sandals, and be appropriate for where you live, but not look, like I said before, like you gave up. The giving
Absolutely.
up, and what is giving up do to yourself? It's damaging. It's very damaging.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not too different than I think sometimes women who are divorced give up on life, that they are stuck in negative emotions from their past. They're stuck in anger or resentment or sadness or self-pity, as opposed to saying, this divorce could be a springboard to an amazing life that I can create exactly the way I want and feel as good as I want.
Yes.
So I think that's real important.
And the other thing is a lot of divorces, the husbands or whatever spouse you may have, has spent a lot of time telling you you're fat, right? You
You're
don't look good.
stupid. You can't do
Why
anything.
can't you be like that person? Why can't you look like that person? And then when you're free, when you're divorced and you don't have that other person constantly doing the negative feeding, that's when you can start to see, hey, I am a butterfly.
Yeah.
I am beautiful. I can be beautiful. But the voices, like that one client who couldn't look in the mirror, it was her mother's voice that she kept hearing.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, but
Sometimes it's their childhood issues that really affect that women need to deal with. Um, and then I think there's the woman who doesn't think she deserves to
right,
look and feel better.
right.
That I think if she just tried it once, I think it would change her outlook
And the other
totally.
thing is, a lot of women have daughters, and
Hmm.
they have to realize that the example they're setting for their daughters. I had a woman hire
Yes.
me years ago because she heard her teenage daughter repeating what she was saying when she saw herself in the mirror. And she realized
Wow.
the message she was sending to her young teenager was really destructive. So she then took the time to have a wardrobe that really made her look and feel great. So she stopped putting herself down and stopped teaching her daughter to put herself down. So we have to be mindful of also the message we're sending to the others, our children around us.
Exactly.
So,
And I even say that in divorce, the way the two parents interact affect a
yeah,
child. The way after divorce you speak about your ex
yeah,
affects the children. There's so many ways kids could be impacted.
yep.
So, what do you say to a woman who pretty much gives you the excuse? I go to my closet, it's full of clothes, but I have nothing to wear.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because they bought the wrong clothes is is one
Yeah.
thing. A lot of women have no idea how to combine clothes to make different outfits. So a lot of women buy an outfit, wear it that way over and over and over and over again. I take a woman's clothes and combine them in new ways, new different accessories, so you can wear something multiple ways. When you start learning how to wear things in multiple ways, you end up having less. My clients have fewer clothes in their closet than they did before, but they have more outfits than they did before.
Interesting.
Quantity is never the answer, because if quantity was the answer, no woman would ever say, I have nothing to wear, and then run out to the store because she got invited someplace and
Exactly.
had no idea what to put on. There's something in the closet. You just don't realize it yet.
Yeah.
So it's just very common because they're buying the wrong clothes. They're buying more of what they already have. They think that they have to go out and get something as opposed to digging in. And I always say there's gold in those closets. There's stuff in that back, blow the dust off, you'd be surprised how good it can look. I've had
Yeah.
clients put something on that they didn't even realize fit them. I've had clients put something on they didn't even know it was even in the closet, or they had it, or they found out they bought two of them because they forgot the other one was in the closet. So
Hmm.
the beauty of having too much to wear is that it gives you the opportunity to clean some things out of your closet so you can only have in there what fits you, what works for you now. And that way, when
Hmm.
you open up the doors, you don't start the day with stress, because it's a very
Hmm.
stressful way to start the day. And you don't start the
Right.
day with a mess, which is pulling everything out, trying to put something on, and then you have to come home to a mess, which is again not great for the mind, not great for your
Exactly.
body image, your self-esteem. So
Yeah.
less clothes, more outfits. That's the way to go.
Gotcha. So I like to ask every guest I have to come up with 3 takeaways that women could do right away to kind of change their outlook, change their divorce journey. And what would you suggest to them?
When it comes to what to wear, when it comes to your clothes,
Yes. Hmm.
uh, don't for 1 week. Don't put on any outfit that you had put on the week or so before.
Ooh, okay.
Force yourself to put on a new outfit from your closet. Force yourself to do a new creation. It's mind blowing what you can come up with. And it's also very exciting because then you bring a little spring in your step. Literally with
Yeah.
spring, but you bring a little bit variety to your life. To your day. The
Gotcha.
second thing is to add 1 or 2 accessories more than you ordinarily would have added. So
Okay.
it could be a scarf, a necklace, earrings, something that you not haven't put on again for the last 3 weeks that you wore many, many times. change your accessory, because when you add a little creativity to your outfit, a little playfulness to your outfit, it's a mood lifter.
Gotcha.
Great conversation starter too. Where'd you get that necklace? Or I love that. Dig into that drawer of the things that you haven't touched in 5 years. You'd be surprised how many adorable things are in that drawer, or the box from your mother or aunt, whatever, or grandmother. There's some really cool costume jewelry in there. Add that to an outfit, and then add, like I said, some playfulness, some joy to your wardrobe.
That's beautiful.
I'd say the third thing is go in your closet and pull out anything that you know for sure doesn't fit. Don't keep anything in your closet that is like, I'm going to get into that one day thing. Because if that worked, we'd all be a size 6.
Yeah.
Having
I
a reminder
actually
that
had,
you're not the right size in your mind is not good.
I actually had a body image expert on the podcast that said the very same thing, to throw
Really?
everything out of your closet that doesn't fit, because you stop, or you can't start appreciating you as who you are.
Right. It's a reminder that you're not what you want to be. And I really emphasize this. I'm telling you right now, being thinner is not the answer to like loving how you look and feel.
Exactly.
And the other thing is that while a woman is, going on journey, like she wants to change her body, or she wants to wait for something else to happen in her life. Maybe she wants to wait till she can date again. Maybe she wants to wait till she loses some weight, or she, some excuse. They're all excuses. That time period, whether it's 5 days or sometimes 5 or more years, is all that time you lost the opportunity to feel good about yourself.
Yes.
Life is too short.
Absolutely. Scarlett, this has been so enlightening. How can our listeners find you?
Oh, so please visit me at Scarlett, Scarlett, image.com. And there you'll find some tips and to help you look at the clothes in your closet in a whole new way. And I invite you to click on a call with me, and I would love to help you identify what's keeping you from always knowing what to wear, and I'll share with you how you can fix it.
Absolutely. And after a divorce is a beautiful time to do that.
It's time to be reborn and renew.
Is there anything else you'd like to share that I've left out and haven't asked you about?
I don't know right now. Let me think.
Okay.
I think the most important thing to do is to do for yourself and stop taking care of yourself off. If you want to feel better, if you want to feel reborn, if you want to feel new, it's time to change your clothes so you can change how you see yourself.
And I think one way to think about that is, wouldn't that be the advice you'd give to your best friend? So if you'd be the advice you'd give your best friend, why wouldn't you want to give it to yourself? I think that's true. Beautiful.
You're always very good at giving other people advice.
Scarlett, thank you so much for being my guest today. You are amazing. And I believe that really changing your outlook is so important to recovery from divorce.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that moving from the overwhelm and grief and pain of divorce can be used to be a springboard to a new life, and that by feeling better on the outside can help ease the negativity on the inside. All of Scarlett's information will be available in the show notes along with mine. You can find them at herempowereddivorce.com, on the podcast page, or wherever you listen to podcasts. I believe that women helping women is our superpower, and that's why I'm bringing you powerful women who can discuss topics so critical to you and your divorce situation. We all struggle, and we can all thrive if we stick together. And it's time to walk the talk of helping other women, to get help from other women, to help other women, and to do business with other women. And most of all, raise up other women and our daughters. While you may be able to pull yourself up from the bootstraps going through a divorce and after, many women can't. Reach out to them, pull them along to recovery and joy with you. After my personal journey of divorce ups and downs, without this kind of support, it was a very painful and difficult process. So this podcast is my way of giving back to women just like you. Thank you for being with Scarlett and myself on this episode of Her Empowered Divorce. Join me in the next episode where we'll be talking about even more topics that can help you on your separation and divorce journey. Remember that you can find more podcast episodes and information about my divorce and empowerment coaching at herempowereddivorce.com. Thank you for joining us today, and take care. Thank you for listening to the Her Empowered Divorce podcast. I enjoyed spending this time with you. Remember, divorce doesn't have to be an awful experience. With the right knowledge, support, and guidance, it can be a time of growth and empowerment. A divorce and empowerment coach is a critical member of your divorce team. In fact, it should be the first call you make. I help you navigate the process and create a happier life post-divorce, also saving you time and money in the process. If you're interested in learning more, please request a free consultation at herempowereddivorce.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out our other episodes and resources. Or you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe and leave us a review. I really appreciate your support. And until next time, take care.